All right, cool. We got a guest finally. Call himself the greatest debater. It's kind of interesting name.
Hello, sir.
What's up, debater? How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
All right. So we got 20 minutes on the clock. Go ahead and talk to me.
Nice. Um, what is your point?
What is my point?
Mm-hmm.
What I just said. I just like to talk to religious people about this.
I'm religious. I'm a Christian, and
Cool.
go for it. What's
All
your
right, cool.
point?
I don't think there's any objective evidence that a God exists. Do you think there's any objective
Great.
evidence that a God exists?
Yeah, according to you, sure.
Yeah, sure. So what's
Yeah.
next?
Yeah, I just don't think you're very reliable.
I'm not very reliable.
No, you're not.
Well, you don't
Because you don't
actually.
believe you don't believe in facts.
Yeah, sure. I believe in facts.
Okay. Let me guess where you're from. Nigeria.
Wrong. That's not the flag on my profile, got my guy. I don't even have a
Where are you from?
Nigerian accent.
You have an accent though. Where are you from?
I do have an accent, but I'm from the States. I clearly don't have
I
an
know
African
you're from the
accent.
States, but where are you from though?
South Florida.
No, no, I mean, okay, South Florida. Okay, all right, all right. Okay, fine, fine, fine. So, do you? Is there something called a Bible?
Of course.
Mhm. Okay. Now, do do people believe that this is a part of history?
Yeah, sure. There's some recorded history within the Bible. I don't doubt that.
Okay, you don't doubt that. Okay. Um. All right. Perfect. Perfect. So, if you don't doubt that, then there is an objective evidence that God exists.
No, the Bible is claims that people were making. There is like, for example, historical sites within the Bible, like the kingdom of Moab, Egypt, of course, the kingdoms of Israel and Judah. Those are objective. We know that. But the stories
Yeah.
about them, such as, God interfering in it all and everything
Wait,
like
are you
that,
Muslim?
those are things that are not objectively proven. You see what I'm saying? What I like
Are
to
you
compare
Muslim?
it to, my bad, go ahead.
Are you Muslim?
No,
Are you religious?
no,
So you're so you agnostic, a theist, like what?
I'm an agnostic atheist.
Okay, so you're just not convinced then.
Yeah, I'm not convinced, and I don't believe it, so I'm not convinced. Now, I don't
So
claim to
do you
know.
think
Like
what
for example, my
happens?
position.
I'm curious. What happens after you die?
Uh, so far, I don't think it's anything. We just die and that's it. We're gone.
Okay. Okay.
So to
Okay.
clarify my position, I'm not a person that says objectively, no, there is no God. God doesn't exist. But I'm not convinced of if that's the case. I don't know whether or not God exists, but I'm not convinced that that's the
I
case.
know what agnostic is, right?
All right, cool.
It's the weakest position you could have
Okay,
because you're
sure.
not. Have you heard the saying? Um, believe in something or fall for anything.
You must
That's
believe
what
in something else.
agnostic
I mean,
is.
yeah, yeah. That's you must believe in
You're,
something else. Your fault for anything. Yeah, of
yeah,
course,
you
of
don't
course.
believe. You're just like, oh yeah, I mean, I'm agnostic. Oh, I don't care. Like, I stand for something, right? I stand for the truth. What do you stand for? You stand for. I mean, really, you stand for nothing because you don't believe in anything.
And okay, not believing in a supernatural being does not mean I don't believe in anything.
Wait, so if you're agnostic, then what do you believe in?
Okay. Now, when I say agnostic,
So
I'm
if
talking
you're
about.
agnostic, what do you
Listen, listen.
believe
Hold on.
in?
Listen to what I'm saying. I'm
Mhm.
agnostic to the position of whether or not a God exists. But when it comes to things like equality, I mean, equal rights for everyone. I mean, I'm a Pan Africanist, but that goes into politics. You see what I'm saying? I believe
Mm.
that everybody should have a right to healthcare, stuff like that. You see what I mean? Like, there are other things you can
Why
believe in
should
other
hang
than
on?
religion.
Why should everybody hang on? Hang on.
It's better for the countries if everybody's healthy. But
Why
that
should
goes. But that's a
everybody?
that's
If
that's a
you're
political that's a
agnostic,
political that's a political debate. I do those on
what?
Tuesdays.
No, no, hang on.
Thursdays.
Slow
Hold on,
down,
hold on,
slow down.
bro. The political side I do on Tuesdays. You can come for that. But on Thursdays, we're talking about the religious things. What I'm saying is this: just because I don't believe in the God that you believe in does not mean I believe in nothing. There are plenty of things I believe in. Like, for example, I believe in treating you as a human being because I have to assume that you're human like I am. If you were ever to be oppressed, like for
You
example,
do. Hang on. Hang on.
hold on. For
What
example,
about
if the government were to ever say we're
civil
gonna ban
argument?
Christianity, I would fight alongside you to not ban it because I don't believe that should be the case. You should have a human right to believe whatever you believe as long as you're not harming anybody else. Now, when it comes to the existence of this Christian God that you believe in, I don't believe that.
Okay, so if you're agnostic on whether there's a God or not,
Mhm.
right? You're unconvinced,
Mhm.
right? Now, do you think that what you do in life is like, can you do anything you want and nothing will happen to you after you die?
Oh,
Can you
after
answer
I
that
die,
question?
no, nothing will happen to me.
Answer it simply, huh?
No, after I die, no.
Okay, perfect. So then then you would stand behind the idea that like someone that unalives other people just because, like, for example, like
No.
hang on, hear me out. I'm agnostic on whether, hypothetically, right? I'm agnostic on whether, like, I think me taking someone else's life is like unjust or not,
Mhm.
right? I'm agnostic. I don't really hold a view on it. Now, do you think I should be punished for my actions if I do unalive somebody?
Depends.
Oh,
It completely depends on what's happening. So, for example, if you pick up a knife and you go to your neighbor's house and you take out your neighbor, his wife, his kids, and his dog, you should be punished. However, if your neighbor comes into your home to attack you because he was just off his rocker that day, and you took a knife and you took him out because you need to defend your own life, you should not be punished. That's justified. So it depends.
right, but that would mean you weren't agnostic, though.
Right, but I'm
That
not.
means you hold
Like
a
I said
firm
before, I'm
stance.
agnostic. Hold on, like I said before, I'm agnostic to the position on whether or not God. Like I'm agnostic to the position on whether or not God exists. That's what I'm agnostic to the position
Okay,
for. That doesn't mean
if God
that
doesn't
doesn't hold on.
exist,
That doesn't mean I'm agnostic about everything. That's not how that works.
I'm fucking up your algorithm. I gotta get going. Have a great night, man. Thank you so much
All right,
for having me. Appreciate you, brother.
no problem. Appreciate you. You have a good day. All right, y'all. Go ahead and like this up. We have 16 people in here. We did have 65. I guess everybody wanted to leave, but I'm gonna go ahead and bring some more people up. We'll go ahead and get more debates in. It doesn't matter what religion you believe in or if you're spiritual. I just want to go ahead and discuss this topic.
Hello
I
there.
don't think there's any evidence that a God exists, and I don't take holy books or personal testimony as good evidence. I'm sorry. What?
You can call me Yuri or whatever. I want to say one thing.
Sure.
I don't care about anything. I want to say you have a good day and you stay well. And yeah, see ya.
All right. I appreciate you, man. Peace out. All right, y'all. We have about 500 likes, about 13 people here. Let's go ahead and get these likes up. Let's get it to 1,000. Again, go ahead and come up and talk to me if you would like. I'm bringing Paul up next. If everyone else wants to talk, go ahead and come on up. Like I said, we're discussing this topic tonight. I don't believe there's any objective evidence that a God exists. I don't think holy books or testimony are good evidence. So, Paul, go ahead and talk. We got 20 minutes.
I'm just kind of curious. What would you take as evidence?
Um, hmm, that's a very good question. Usually, I would say I don't really know, but however, if there is an all-knowing, all-powerful God out there, apparently that God would know and would know what will convince me. And since I'm not convinced yet, either he doesn't want me to know, or he's playing with me, or he doesn't exist. But I think what would make it more likely for me to be convinced is the road to Damascus, the road to Damascus experience. If everybody across the planet at one time and in their language got the road to Damascus experience all at the same time, that would probably convince me.
Wow. So basically, you're saying you would have to have a worldwide miracle that, I mean, could not be anything but God intervening.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, I find that God doesn't really work on a worldwide basis. He generally works one on one with people.
Hmm.
Okay. I can say this from my own experience. I am a Christian now, but I wasn't always. I practiced witchcraft for over 40 years. I got to the point where I was a high priest. I ran rituals. I did things where people literally said, if somebody could raise Satan, I believe you could do it. Okay. I have seen things, and mind you, this is without being on drugs, that make most people turn around and piss themselves. I have had people with me and seen and experienced things because of rituals that were done through witchcraft and magic and that sort that have made people say, wow, and scared the living hell out of them. I have done tarot readings where I had literally a whole town turn around and go, oh my God, stay the hell away from him because he knows what he's doing. I mean, literally, because I just predicted things that most people would not believe.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying this to toot my own horn. I'm saying this because it took me going to prison and having a couple things pointed out to me to make me finally stop and go, wait a minute. Am I looking at things all the wrong way? Am I doing everything the wrong way? It took somebody to take and show me the love of Christ for me to finally open my own eyes and say, well, wait a minute. Because I always wanted to point out people, and I really hated Christians. I really did. I looked at them and I said, every one of them, they're all two-faced. They all lie. They don't do this. They don't do this. They all backstab each other. But the problem was, what I didn't realize is it's not about their relationship with God. It's about my relationship with God. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure, that all makes sense. Here's the thing that I would say, because you said earlier that God doesn't work on a worldwide way. He works individually with people. The problem that I have with that is that, number one, if you're going to, if the mission of Christianity is to spread this all over the world, why not work the worldwide way where everybody can see it and not doubt it? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, it seems counterintuitive. Like, people like myself wouldn't exist if he worked worldwide. But the second thing that I would say is that I'm glad that you were able to change your life if you were living horribly. I don't hate Christians. I just don't think what they believe is logical. But like, if you were able to change your life through that, that's wonderful. You see what I'm saying? But for myself, I was still able to find love and find care and find direction without it. So I don't even think it's necessary to even have that. You see what
Oh,
I mean?
mind you, I didn't say that I didn't have love. I
Mhm.
didn't say I didn't have caring. I said that I've seen things and done things that most people would not. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
I'm
I
going to
mean,
tell you
my
very much.
grandmother.
There's many days that I look at my past because I know how to take certain herbs
Mhm.
and certain things and make medicines that a doctor would never give you, but will heal you quicker than anything.
Yeah,
Okay.
so do my, like, my folks are from the Caribbean. So my mother, I mean, not my mother, my grandmother, on both sides, as a matter of fact, followed the voodoo tradition. You know what I'm saying? We're Haitian,
Mm-hmm.
so we follow the Haitian voodoo tradition. So my grandmother was a voodoo practitioner for years, probably up until she passed away. You see what I mean? So it's like, I understand all these things. There's still medicines that we get, that we go vines in our backyard. You know what I mean? When I was growing up, to cure us from like the cold and stuff like that. So yeah, I get herbal medicine and everything like that. But I would also say what she believed that, in the Papa Legbas and the Israelis and the Gay Day people and everything like that, that I don't really take as evident either, because um Haitians will always tell you, they'll all give you a voodoo story. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
a person that, messed with them and they came to work or school the next day with boils all over their body and stuff like that. There's always a voodoo story. In the Haitians, they'll tell you a voodoo story. And I'll tell them, I don't believe in that either. You see what I'm saying? Because like I said, there's really no objective proof of that. If things like voodoo and juju actually work, turn me into a cat right now. I'll give you $1,000. They never do it. You see what I mean? They never do it. So it's like there's no objective evidence that it's actually real. Does that make sense?
I can say this much. The way a lot of voodoo and that type of thing works is not through what you would consider magic, where you literally turn into a cat. It's more through hypnotism, where you think you're a cat. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I heard hypnotism is
Now,
more pseudoscience, but I wouldn't doubt it.
okay. What I'm talking about for God, though, like I said, I could give you my personal testimony and say, it took me over 40 something years to finally say, huh. And then when I got out of prison, it changed my entire life. I got into a Christian church community. They turned around, they helped me reestablish myself. I got a house, got a car, got people who became a community around me, people that kind of helped me out with different things. I received so much that I could not say that it was done by my hand, but it had to have been done by somebody's hand, had to be done by somebody's power. But I knew it wasn't my doing that all these blessings and all these things suddenly came on me. And I don't know how to explain it to you or how to convince you that there is a God,
Mhm.
but I'm going to say through my personal experience, I have to believe there's a God because I can't see a way where what was done to me, through me, by this higher power that brought all these good things to me after I came out of prison, after 11 years, when I was thrust into a place that seemed like it was the Twilight Zone.
Mhm.
And I mean, it got even worse because all of a sudden my Twilight Zone got really twisted because now I've got people giving me stuff, helping me, doing things. And all I can say is there has to be a God because all these people turn around and say, well, we do this because we love you because of God.
Okay, cool. Here's a few problems that I have with that, right? Like I don't doubt your testimony at all. But here's some of the issues I have with that because you said that of all the things that you've done, I mean, or all the things that start to come to you, you can't see that it was any other thing but God. For me, that seems like that seems like to an argument for personal incredulity. You didn't understand how something happened, therefore it had to be this thing. But that's really not that's kind of fallacious. You know what I'm saying? Just because you can't see it happening any other way doesn't mean that, hey, thank you for the heart, y'all. Just because you can't see it happening any other way doesn't mean that it had to happen the way that you think it did. You feel me? But that's one thing that I would say. But the second thing that I would say is that if these people only did things because God said to love you, that's not a very good motivation. Because for me, I volunteer with young boys to mentor them because like in the city that I live in, there's a lot of violence. So I mentor them, right? Anytime that I can give to the homeless, I give to the homeless, but I'll also go out to actually feed them. I volunteer at soup kitchens and stuff like that. If there's anybody in trouble, even as a complete stranger, I try to help them out as much as I can. I give directions, even if I'm gonna be late for work, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I do all these things without believing because not because that someone told me to or there's a God on high that told me to, but simply because it was the right thing to do. You see what I'm saying? So I would say if there's people in your life that are doing all these things and saying because I'll do this because God told me to love you, that seems like a very superficial motivation. Why not just do things because they're good to do, not because a God exists?
I can understand your argument. I really can. But on the other hand, I can also see their side of it too. Because once you start taking those changes and take Christ into your heart and that love into you, it changes who you are. And if you do it and do it with a heart of, I don't know the best way to put this, but with a heart that's just full of wanting the Lord and wanting that, your whole demeanor, your whole life, everything about you will change. And then you start, how shall we say, there's an old saying, when you believe in God and you see the hand of God in your life, you start seeing the hand of God all around you and things that you would never believe he was there doing. Even with strangers and even with people that you would never suspect, he uses them to do the things that need to be done to save others and help others. And brother, I don't know what has made you so that you don't believe in God or Christ or however it is. And I don't have any issue against you for doing so. But I pray that before the end comes, you have a chance to get to know him. And hopefully, you'll see a better way. And may God bless you and love you.
All right, cool. I can ask you I'm gonna ask you two things. Number one, would you believe me if I were to tell you that I actually became a better person not believing in God?
I can believe that you believe that because I believed it when I was practicing witchcraft.
Right.
I
The
believe
reason why I say that I know I became a better person for after not believing in God is because a realization came to me that when I pass away, I am not going to see anybody again. There is no after this, right? So because of that, I needed to love people more deeper than I ever had. I'm gonna mute you for a second because there's a lot of noise in your background. Okay, I just gotta mute you for a second. So I became a better person because I realized that I needed to love people deeper because this is the only life that I have. I'm never going to see anybody again. I need to help people and make sure that life is going to be good for other people today because I will never see them again. This is it. This is our one shot. You see what I mean? There is not going to be an afterwards after this where this life doesn't matter anymore and there's heaven and everything like that and they're going to live good. Nah, this is it. And I don't want people to live in misery. So I'm going to go ahead and be as kind, as courteous, and be as charitable as I can because like there is nothing after. And that's what made me a better person. Because before, all I was doing was praying for people. That's it. I was just praying for them, and that was the work. You see what I mean? That's the first thing. But the second thing I would say is that I don't doubt that once you became a Christian, all those good things started happening. You know why I don't doubt that? Because Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, all these other religions, they have one thing that human beings need: community. Y'all have a community. And because we live in a majority Christian West, of course, the moment you become Christian, anywhere you go in this country, you're going to find a community. You see what I'm saying? So I would tell you to ask yourself, did all those good things happen because a supernatural thing came over your life, or did they happen simply because you had a community? You can go and unmute yourself. I just mute you real quick because there was noise in your background. But go and unmute yourself.
okay, I can argue community because before I did have community. Like I told you, I was practicing witchcraft. I was a high priest of witchcraft, which means that I had a coven, which means I had a community around me. The difference is one side I was practicing with that whole mentality of me, 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 me. The other side, it was no longer about me. It was a major change between my thought process. Kind of like what you said, when you said that when you quit believing in God, you suddenly became a better person because you felt you had to do things because this is the only life you have. And I can understand that.
Mhm.
And I also understand where you said beforehand, all you did was pray for others. Believe it or not, the biggest problem we have as a people is we fall into the religion versus the actual following of Christ. Jesus Christ was not a religious man himself. If you read through the Bible, he tells you, I hate religion because that's practicing doing things because that's what you are told you have to do. Okay. You're told to pray for others. You're told to do this. You don't understand, what did Christ do? Christ walked that walk to help others. He walked around, he healed others, he helped others. He did things to lift up people. Okay. Do I say that I'm just Christian? No, I'm saying I'm more of a follower of Christ. Okay. But I'm going to say I did see the miracles, not because of the community. It was because of strangers that I never even met, that I didn't even tell my story to, that came up and gave to me out of the blue and said, well, Christ kind of told me I kind of need to do this to you. I had one night, I was helping these people, just came into where I worked. They were living out of a homeless shelter. I'd drive them home, grab them a meal right before I dropped them off, and this way they had food. I had somebody who I didn't even know come up to me and say, Paul, I know what you're doing. Pass me $20. Take them out someplace nice tonight, and may God bless you for everything that you've done. And I was like, wait a minute, huh? I said, well, how did you know? Paul, it's written all over them. They talk about how kind you are, how wonderful you are, how great it was that you took them home. I mean, I didn't ask for this type of recognition,
Hey, Paul.
but seeing it pop up,
Paul,
I mean,
can
that makes you stop and go, whoa, wait a minute.
Paul, can I point something out to you?
Hmm.
Because I have a similar story, right? And these were of two different people who actually told me something similar to what you said. But the people that I met, the two people that I met, none of them were Christian. One of them was a Muslim, the other one was a Sikh, and they both told me the same thing about their gods. So because that happened, does that mean that their gods also exist?
Well, if you follow what the witchcraft path actually teaches, all gods are one. I believe that God, whether you want to claim him as Allah, Muhammad, whatever he is all the same. But I have to say, there has to be a creator out there who is guiding everything.
Yeah, okay. Cool. The thing is that is like I don't see a reason to believe that. I'm not doubting that everything that you're saying that you went through. I'm not gonna doubt that. What I doubt is what you're contributing it to. You see what I'm saying? Because it's not necessarily, for example, all of your everything that you said right now, if I spoke to a Muslim, they would literally say the same exact thing, that once they became Muslim and they took the Shahada and everything with Islam, they went through everything that you're saying. You see what I mean? That's why I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
at that point, which one what we say is true? This is why I always say it's more of a community thing than it is like a supernatural thing. Here's the thing though, bro. Paul, we're at 20 minutes, so I do gotta go ahead and let you go, but it was good talking to you, all right? All right, y'all. I appreciate you, Paul, coming up. All right, y'all. We have, damn, we dropped a lot. I'm sorry, Paul. You put people to sleep, Paul. We had about 60 people in here before. Now we're down to 8. But that's all right, y'all. That's all right. Let's go ahead and get the likes up. Yeah, Paul was nice. Paul was nice. Let's go ahead and get the likes up. Let's get us about 2,000 likes. I appreciate you all being here. Once again, I'm talking about this subject. If you all want to go ahead and talk to me, go ahead and come up and talk. I want to give a shout out to everybody who's watching me on YouTube right now. Michelle, how's it going? Watching me on YouTube. I want to give a shout out to people who are watching me on Instagram right now. Um, I'm sorry, I can't say these names. One of Ashy Babies. That's Mandy's Notebook, DJ Boyland, uh Fem Desalines. Boy, yeah, y'all got some funny names on Instagram, boy. But yeah, I'm live on Instagram and I'm live on YouTube right now. I do appreciate everybody being here. Justin, I appreciate you being here because I had a question for you, man. Like, you do a lot of biblical things, and I wanted to know if you're gonna be teaching any classes or starting a spreadsheet for like a source and everything like that. Because we all need to get as knowledgeable as you. Justin in the comments right now, Deconstruction Zone. Go ahead and follow him. He does lives as well on biblical history and everything like that. Very, very knowledgeable. And I suggest you guys follow him. But once again, shout out to everybody who's watching. We're at 2.1K likes. We have 6 people in here. Again, we're discussing this topic. You did start a spreadsheet. Awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and download that. It's on the Discord link. I'll get that. Now I definitely gotta join your Discord as well. Definitely gotta join Discord as well. But once again, we're discussing this topic. I don't think there's any objective evidence that a God exists, and holy books and testimony are not evidence to me. So if you would like to come up and discuss this, please come up and discuss this with me. And I appreciate you all being here. Oh, one of y'all's babies. That's what it is. One of y'all's babies. I'm sorry, I'm talking to my Instagram. All right, y'all. Shout out to everybody who's watching me on Instagram. I appreciate y'all. And I see how the Instagram looks. I'm gonna try to get it, looking a little better when I can. All right, y'all. Let's get these likes. Let's get these likes up. I had like 60 people in here before, and then all of a sudden they all done left. I do agree with that, Restic. Um, a personal God has no credible evidence. I was a deist for a time before because I just couldn't let it go. But then, just like how you said, there was no justification for it. Like you said, there's no reason to believe it. I was basically going off the contingency argument. Something had to cause something, and therefore the unmoved mover, stuff like that. I was convinced by those arguments, and then I realized that I was attributing the unmoved mover to a god and not anything else. You know what I mean? How did I eliminate everything else? I think it was a philosophy person that asked me that. How did you get to a god being the unmoved mover and not, a transcendent alien, from Star Trek or something? How do you know Q from the Q continuum is not the unmoved mover? Or how about universe creating pixies? You see what I mean? You have to eliminate all those to get to a deistic God, and there's no reason for you to believe that. Yeah, true. If there is an uncaused cause, then logically possible the universe is the universe itself is the unmoved mover, because as far as we know, um energy always existed. So if energy always existed and energy became matter, and that's what we call the Big Bang, then why can't that be it? Yeah, exactly. Doesn't interact with us at all. So I also used to be a pantheist. Pantheism is very, very interesting because, like, I don't know if you guys ever heard of Spinoza's God, but basically how the universe develops, and you know how Carl Sagan said that we're the thinking and feeling parts of the universe. like we're made of stardust, we're a way for the universe to know itself. You know what I mean? Like that kind of gets into pantheism, but mm, it's basically saying there's no God at all at that point, you know, because if I'm not mistaken, Sagan was also an atheist. So it's like that's basically saying there's no God at all. If you're gonna say the universe is God, you know, and I don't believe the universe is magic either. So yeah, any of you manifesting people want to come up, or any of you zodiac? I'm pretty sure if I do a live on the zodiac and manifesting, I'm gonna get a bunch of angry emails or a bunch of people coming up here, you know, upset at me about, you know, dissing astrology and manifesting and stuff like that. Because all that is bullshit too. You know, all that is BS too. The universe isn't magic, y'all. All right. A bunch of stars a billion miles away does not control your personality. That's 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 all shit as well. That doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any damn sense. All right, so I'm reading a comment from my YouTube. Michelle says, I think most folks can't get past their personal uncomfortability when it comes to admitting that testimony and feelings are not evidence for a God. Exactly, because the moment that I bring up the testimony and the feelings of another religion, all of a sudden they can't really contend with it. They can't say, "Oh, I don't know about that," or you know, I've even heard sometimes people say that those gods exist too, and I'm like, so why'd you choose yours? It's really strange, man. It's really strange. But yeah, y'all, we live on YouTube, we live on TikTok, and we're live on Instagram. And I appreciate everybody being here. I appreciate everybody being here. If there's anyone else, I am looking for some. I'm looking for some opposition, some debates. If anybody's a believer and wants to come up and talk to me, we only got 4 people here now, so that means I got to go ahead and end this soon because it's whittling down. I think Skits is on live right now, and that's why I don't have as much people here right now. But again, I'll bring this up on Tuesday, and we'll do it then. So I'm just gonna give this just a few more minutes. If I don't get any more requests, I'm gonna go ahead and end the live. And you know, like I said, thank y'all for joining me. I'll go ahead and end the live here in the next few minutes if I don't get any more people. Yeah, the Skits is doing a formal debate right now with Wi-Fi or something like that, right? Wi-Fi God or something like that. And yeah, formal debates are kind of painful. You know, I do put a time limit on mine because like I don't want to be up here with 3 hours of one person. So that's why I put everybody for 20 minutes. You know, but yeah, it's kind of painful to watch. You know, it's not engaging at all. It's like formal debates are really unengaging. You know, I like this type of style. I like how Justin does it on his. You know, and I don't tend to go on to the Christians the platforms because the Christians they just kind of dogpile you, you know, and it's kind of it's painful. It's painful. I don't like to go on their lives either. They just kind of dogpile you, and it's painful. All right, y'all. So a few more minutes. I've been on here for about 40 minutes. I'll give it about 2 or 3 more minutes. If I don't get any more requests, I'll go ahead and end it here, and I'll try to go live probably tomorrow or Saturday. Yeah, all the Christian love hitting you all at once. Hitting you all at once. I was on a 5v1 one time, you know what I mean? And I couldn't really even discuss it well because it's like, my God, you're all talking all at once. Let me answer one question at a time, you know? But all right, y'all, just a few more minutes. All right, just a few more minutes, and I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. If I don't get any more requests, then I'll go ahead and leave. I'm wondering what happened to all the people who were speaking. I guess when they saw that I was talking to the first person, they saw that I'm not a pushover, so they can't really use any old tricks on me. They couldn't use any of their old tricks on me. Okay, here we go. One more guess.
How you doing
Nick,
today?
how's it going? Talk to me.
Um, you know that there is no objective evidence that God exists. I believe in God, and that's a truth that I find to be true. It doesn't it doesn't really matter if you believe it's true. It's a decision that you have to make.
All right, sure. Now I'm pretty much unconvinced. Why do you think that a God existed?
Well, because of things that have happened to me. I'm been clean from a substance for 27 years now.
Mhm.
And I had no withdrawal symptoms whatsoever. I'm kind of old. I'm 51 now. So in my younger days, I was quite honestly pretty stupid and did some stupid crap. But yeah, I mean it's
Okay. Now I'm happy for you that you got clean. Congratulations on that. Like having a fresh start and getting clean from and being sober, that's not easy. Not an easy path at all. So I definitely respect that. You see what I mean? The thing that I would say though was that I think, or now I don't I think that I know that people can do that without believing in a God. Now, of course, if that's something that you needed to do in order to get sober, I'm not gonna take that away from you. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna call you like I'm not gonna denigrate you for using what you needed to use in order for you to get sobered up. And if that helps you out now, I'm not gonna take that away from you either. You know what I mean? If is there the time that you hop on my live and you say, "Hey, I'm about to relapse because I'm doubting God," I would go to my dad, who's a pastor, and tell him to pray for you right now. You see what I'm saying? Like I would do that for you because I what you need to in order to be a better person is, or to be a more effective person, or to not harm yourself, is what you need. However, for myself, I don't think I honestly don't believe that I need that. I honestly don't believe that you need it either. But um since I'm like the thing is when it comes to things like direction, morals, purpose, love, all those things, it doesn't seem like God is necessary for those. So I ask myself, if those things are not necessary for me, if God is not necessary, if believing in God is not necessary to have all those things, what is the point of believing in it in the first place? Does that make sense?
yeah. You mind if I share a quick dad joke with you?
Sure.
All right. So who's the best babysitter in the in the Bible?
Cool.
King David. He rocked Goliath to sleep.
Ah, that's a good one. Actually, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
But I just wanted to pop up. I saw your subject, and you know my goal is not to fight, and I see yours is not either, and I appreciate that. But just sharing different experiences is kind of what the purpose of TikTok is all about.
Yeah, yeah, sure. That's what it was all about. Now, I do debates, but those are more on the political side. I do those on Tuesdays. So if you want to come for those, then yeah, that's
Yep.
that's when it gets pop. That's when it
Uh,
gets really argumentative.
so do you mind if I ask you your general stance on things?
I'm a leftist. I believe we should have more unions. I believe we should have universal health care. I believe lining for Jim Crow and etc. I believe that like what's going on with Boeing, how the board of directors are knowingly putting out dangerous products that can unalive people. I believe those people should go to jail for that because that's basically negligent homicide. You see what I'm saying? I believe that we should be raising or reforming the tax code and raising taxes. I think on the 1%, and I believe that we should be, if not completely refunding and defunding the police, then to completely abolish them because they're not doing a good job in the first place.
We can definitely have some discussions because I think differently in some ways, and I think I agree with you in others. So we could probably have a pretty good discussion.
Yeah, sure. So, Tuesdays I do this. You could come back and follow me, and on Tuesdays we'll talk about it.
All right, sounds good. You have yourself a good day.
I appreciate you, man. All right, y'all. You graduated high school with Stormy Daniels. Mhm. Was she did you guys know she was gonna take that path from back then? Cause all right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and start getting out of here. Slow night, very, very slow night. I used to get a lot more people in here, you know. Oh, she was shy in high school. Wow. It's always the shy ones, ain't it? It's always the shy ones. But I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, y'all. It's been about 45 minutes. Shout out to everybody who was on YouTube. Shout out to everybody who watched me on Instagram. Shout out to you guys who are watching me on TikTok. But I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'll get out of here. My it's not as contentious. I probably should put change my mind up here. Oh yeah, I did put can you change my mind? But no one wanted to change my mind. I guess so. So all right, y'all. So we're down to the wire. I only got 3 people in here. I appreciate all the likes and all the gifts. I appreciate everybody for coming up. Like I said, shout out to everybody who watched me on YouTube. Shout out to everybody who's watching me on Instagram as well. And I love and appreciate y'all. And y'all have a good night. All right. Peace out.